The 2024 season of the World Endurance Championship is over, and what a fantastic year of competition we had. From the introduction of a new class to a record-breaking grid size in Hypercar, this year's season was just simply spectacular. But was it the best season we have ever seen? Well, that's exactly the topic which I'll break down in this video, to find out if the most recent year of racing in the WEC was the best season in the championship's history. Ultimately, the 2024 championship was epic to say the least, and I'll be breaking down the qualities which define it as a good season in just a moment. But first, we need another year of competition from the WEC, which could somewhat rival 2024, to therefore compare the two seasons for the crown of the best year of racing in the series history. And to be clear, I will only be taking a look at seasons from the modern World Endurance Championship, meaning from 2012 onwards, and not anything from the World Sports Car Championship, for example. For the first 2 years of the series, the competition was good, but it arguably wasn't as strong as the future seasons. Then, the era between 2018 and 2022, which saw the end of LMP1 and the rise of Hypercar, did show some of the best action across the GTE categories, but it lacked qualities that other seasons had that contributes to the Best Season Ever award. Many motorsport enthusiasts, including myself, claim that some of the best years for the WEC were between 2014 and 2017. The 2016 championship in particular has been regarded by some as the best season in the WEC, and it had great qualities which contributed to the best season ever. These qualities included a strong three-way fight in LMP1 between the well-established manufacturers of Porsche, Audi, and Toyota, a competitive field of GT cars and GT teams, a historic 24 Hours of Le Mans race, and a calendar which saw the championship visit some iconic tracks across the world. So considering the many great attributes of the season that took place just 8 years ago, for this video I will compare the seasons of 2016 and 2024, and the qualities that I'll especially be taking into account include the competition out on track, the regulations that were present, the manufacturers, teams, and drivers involved, the tracks that the series visited, how great that year's 24 Hours of Le Mans was, and much more. And also, keep in mind that this is an opinion-based video, so if I say that one season is the best ever, that doesn't mean that it actually is. So the 2016 season had the LMP1, LMP2, and GTE cars competing, while the 2024 season had the LMH, LMDH, LMP2, and finally GT3 cars. And remember, the LMP2 cars were only racing at Le Mans. So excluding the additional entries for the classic French endurance race, the 2016 season saw a total of 32 cars on the grid, with 7 car manufacturers competing full-time, with Ford being the newest brand to enter, with that new GT car competing in the LMGTE Pro category with Chip Ganassi Racing. Meanwhile, the 2024 season would have 37 cars compete full-time. And remember, the WEC would be coming off the bat of downsizing from a category, where a record-breaking 14 car manufacturers would be competing across both Hypercar and LMGT3. As for the drivers, many talented racers would take to the track during these years of racing. In 2016, we would see famous racers such as Lucas di Grassi with Audi, Mark Webber with Porsche, and Pedro Lamy with Aston Martin. Whereas in 2024, there would also be quite a few famous names, including 7-time MotoGP champion Valentino Rossi in the LMGT3 BMW, and 2009 Formula 1 world champion Jenson Button racing in Hypercar for Hertz Team Jota. Moving on, and the calendars for both 2016 and 2024 did in fact feature some very iconic racetracks. Besides the likes of Spa and Le Mans, which were featured on both calendars, The 2016 season also saw tracks like the Nürburgring in Germany, the Silverstone circuit in Britain, and a brand new track joining the schedule, which was the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit located in Mexico City. On the other hand, the 2024 calendar displayed some tracks that weren't on the 2015 schedule, including the Interlagos circuit in Brazil, Imola in Italy, and finally Losail in Qatar. For the sake of competition, when it comes to the teams and cars entering, and the actual racing out on track, the fact is that both years' grids produced some absolutely incredible action. In 2016, we saw one of the best races in the championship's history, during the 6 Hours of Fuji event. And in 2024, there were arguably quite a few races that would go down into the history books. But ultimately, I do feel when reaching the factor of competition that this is where the 2024 year of racing starts to take the lead on the best season ever award compared to the one in 2016. If we temporarily narrow the subject to just the main prototype classes, ultimately the level of competition, entries, and manufacturers involved was just higher than in 2016. The 2024 season saw a record-breaking 9 manufacturers participating in Hypercar, where only 3 brands raced full-time in LMP1 during the 2016 season. And for Le Mans that year, 9 cars would compete in LMP1, and only 6 were from car manufacturers, where the 2024 season saw 23 cars competing for overall victory in the Hypercar class. When it comes to the specific manufacturers competing, one brand that we've missed out on seeing in 2024 that was there in 2016 was Audi, as the German manufacturer was still a part of the WEC with their LMP1 program, although that would be the final year of Audi in the WEC. But overall, the 2024 season blew away the 2016 year of racing when it comes down to this factor, as all these brands listed on screen competed in 2024, so I rest my case knowing that the 2024 year of racing doubled the amount of manufacturers competing in 2016. During the 24 Hours of Le Mans races, which included the 84th edition of this event and the 92nd edition of this race, both venues would go down into the history books as being iconic. The 2016 race saw that incredible fight for the overall lead between Porsche, Toyota, and somewhat Audi, and this was where that famous heartbreaking moment happened for the number 5 Toyota, when the car ground to a halt on the final lap while leading overall, thus giving the win to Porsche. And elsewhere, there was also some epic racing amongst the LMP2 and GT classes, which inevitably saw Ford win on their return to Le Mans for the first time with a factory effort since 1969 when they won this event overall. Where in 2024, 4 manufacturers realistically could win the race, and the event featured some of the most intense and exciting action we have ever seen at the Circuit de la Sarthe, across the classes of Hypercar, LMP2, and LMGT3. And at the end of the race, the gap between the winning Ferrari and Jose Maria Lopez's Toyota was just 14 seconds. And in fact, for the first time in the venue's history, the top 9 cars all finished on the lead lap. And it wasn't just Le Mans that showed off the 2024 season as being spectacular. At Imola, for example, there was that intense fight at the end between Porsche and Toyota for the overall win, with the race also being affected by rain. Then, at the end of the season in Bahrain, we saw some of the best action during the season in the LMGT3 class, which saw multiple lead changes and a fierce battle between Charlie Eastwood's Corvette and Alessio Rivera's AF Corsa Ferrari for the win. Then, in that same race, the championship battle for the manufacturer's title went down to the final hour between Porsche and Toyota, and one position would change the whole outcome. So ultimately, the 2024 season was just purely astonishing. So my conclusion is, while both seasons of the WEC in 2016 and 2024 were incredible and deserve all the credit given to them as top-notch seasons of endurance racing, ultimately in my book the 2024 year of racing ranks higher compared to the 2016 one, which makes me say that the 2024 season was the best ever year of racing in the championship's history, at least for now. But that's just my opinion, and I'm genuinely interested to know what you think. What is the best ever season of the World Endurance Championship? Was it either in 2016 or in 2024? Or is there another season besides those two that you think is the best? Well, feel free to post your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you like sports car endurance racing, this might be the channel for you. I'm making content on the WEC, IMSA, and so on every single week. In fact, there are some videos out on your screen all about these topics. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.